Hey, this is Pype720 and I'm here to talk about my new single, Don't Let Me Down. It drops on June 1st, 2021. The origin of this song is not about my wife. When I say I wrote this song about 20 years ago, I'm not entirely sure exactly when I wrote it. And I'm also not entirely sure who I wrote it about, which is probably a good thing. It's about relationships, commitment, disappointment, and settling. I wrote this at a time when I was looking for a serious relationship, and the person or people I was dating were not really up to the task. There's a certain resignation and cynical tone that you'll hear in a lot of my original songs. I'd be lying if I said I love the tone of the lyrics. I mean, it is 20 years ago and I'm a different person from who I was back then, but I've tried to convey a certain amount of self-deprecation in the video, which I felt was funny to me, and I think sort of represents not just how I felt at the time, but how I feel about the song now, 20 years later. So it's not about my wife because I hadn't even met her at the time that I made this song. I do think it's a mentality that contributed to me finding the right person, and sort of I can look back and see how I was thinking about relationships and sort of how that played into the rest of my life, and ultimately meeting my wife, whom I've been happily married with for 16 years now, and we have a soon-to-be 11-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter, and we're all doing great. So I have written songs for my wife, specifically because she was extremely displeased about all of the songs I had written about prior relationships. Because I love her so dearly is also why I wrote these songs. I have tentative plans to release one of the songs that I wrote for her, hopefully this year, and I think those are actually some of my best work. So I've been sort of saving them for a good time when I'm a little bit more established as an artist. So how did I make this video? So I made my first music video for this, and it was a blast. I really didn't know what I was doing. I was very hesitant to do a music video. I've never acted. I've never done any sort of theater training. I've always just been kind of like a rock musician. But I've gotten marginally good at video editing with all of the promos and social media stuff I have to do. So I think it went pretty well, especially for my first video. I shot it at the Delaware Shore, a local forest here in the DC area, and in my kitchen. I'm incorporating a lot of natural landscape stuff, and if you follow particularly my Instagram, you see on my stories I really love nature and natural photography. I'm also incorporating a small narrative in the music video, starring myself and my wife as the acting roles in that video. The video releases on Friday, June 11th, 2021, and I'm also going to release a behind-the-scenes video about the video after it drops. I've got kind of some bloopers, and there are some outtakes at the very end of the video, which you'll see when it comes out. Water was a big theme in the music video, and if you've been following some of the promos, running water is a big part of the visual themes of this song. It's on the album cover, it's on my Spotify canvas, it's throughout the music video, and that's because it's a song about transition and fluidity. It's kind of stuck in between two places, and the way water flows, it kind of spoke to me as something that was very fitting for this song. Also, when I was trying to think of ideas for videos, I was hiking through woods and I would see a lot of these very sort of beautiful close-ups of running water, and the way the light hits off of it, I think it provides some really interesting visuals. I hike often through the woods near my house and often visit natural parks, so you see that in a lot of my promotional content. This helps clear my mind and center my thoughts on the things that are important. And as I would take these hikes, I would film close-ups of flowing water, which you'll see in the video, and on the album cover. So let's see. It can be both chaotic and extremely organized. Just watching how some of this water flows after rain, and you'll hear more about this on the behind the scenes for the video. Musically, so it's a blues rock sound. It's built around 7 chords, not 7 chords, although it might be 7 chords, but basically a triad of a 1, a 3, and 7, if you know musical theory. So that's a staple for blues rock, and I'm using a very simple progression for the verse and the chorus, and I think that lends to I think a good guitar solo, bass runs, and this is I was trained primarily as a blues guitarist, so that's where you'll hear a lot of this. That was kind of the first thing that I learned, and it's a song that showcases the things that I think that I'm best at. It's very a similar style to my debut song, What Have We Become? And while I like to experiment with new sounds and genres, I'd say if there are 2 songs that define my sound, it's this song and my debut song, What Have We Become? So be sure to check that out if you have a chance. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the song. Be sure to give it a listen on June 1st, and also be sure to watch the video that comes out on June 11th. Thanks. Bye.